Hey, good evening. It's Rob here from Tetrakey, and I'm back in the office. And I wanted to come to you on a slightly warped camera angle and say hi this evening for this episode number 112 of Tetrakey TV. Wow, what a few days. So yesterday I pressed reset, and today has been immense. I've delivered some coaching sessions with clients. I've engaged with 3 of our Tetrakey Performance Accelerator coaches. I've managed to get through over 50% of the chapters for our next book coming up soon, all about secrets of success. More on that, I think, tomorrow. In fact, I may even share with you tomorrow a sneak preview on the front cover of the next book that's coming out. I've got loads done today. It's been an immense, brilliant day. And I hope you've had a wonderful day as well. As I talk to you now, it's about 6 p.m. here, and I'm going to go and bath my daughter and say goodnight to her, and I'm probably going to sit on my laptop for another few hours, 3 or 4, to finish off today what I've set myself. But brilliant. Brilliant. All because I set reset yesterday, and I'd encourage you to do the same. Tonight what I want to talk about is I want to go and slay a dragon, pop a myth, and take something that we all think we believe to be true, and I want to talk about how it's not and how you're kidding yourself if you think that it is. And that is the saying that so many people say, that practice makes perfect. And isn't it interesting, because when we all brought up with that, try harder, work harder, practice more, you'll achieve more, you'll become perfect. And in my years as a coach, both as a high-performance sports coach, previous life as a high-performance executive coach, and now a serial entrepreneur and performance acceleration coach working with high-performing individuals or those who own small businesses, medium-sized businesses, have a career, something they want to fast-track, that I just want to basically call the bullshit card on that thing of practice makes perfect. It is simply not true. In fact, practice just produces more of what it is that you can already do. And so I want to ask you a question. Are you already achieving what you want to achieve in life in the way in which you want to achieve it? Now, for most people who watch this, I rather suspect that the answer to that question is no. And here is the thing. The way you go about your 24 hours of your day, your 7 days in your week, your 30-ish days in your month, your 12 months in your year, is every single minute of every single day of every single week of every single month is practice. So if we do the same thing today as we did yesterday in the same way, we've practiced something. And so practicing that will produce a permanent behaviour. So what is practice really? Well, practice creates permanent. But if we're not happy with where we are, what we're doing, what we're getting, and the way in which we're getting it, maybe if we want more, well, all we're doing by practicing is just creating more permanency around not having what we want at this point in time. You know, if you practice bad habits, the habits will become deeper ingrained. In fact, any form of a habit is just a practice regime that further ingrains the habit. Smoking would be a great example of that. Drinking, anything that's a habit. Picking your nose, if that's what it is that you wish to do as your habit. And we just ingrain it further and further. So practice really does make permanent. Have you ever stopped and thought for a minute? And thank you, Chris, for joining me this morning for you and this evening for us here. Have you ever thought for a second, What is the perfect practice that you need to put in place? How is that different from what it is you do at this point in time? So maybe if you were to write a list around something that I do currently, what I do, how I do it, when I do it, why I do it, and then you would start thinking, well, how would I make it more perfect? What is it that I'd have to change, adapt, stop, and start doing to take that practice and turn it into perfect practice? Now, if we can go through that exercise and then purposefully start to do perfect practice, we're going to get something that we call perfect permanence, which is the perfect outcome from perfect practice. Now, I know I'm rabbiting around and you might be saying, oh, semantics, tomato, so on, a courgette or zucchini, you know, all those other sorts of things that we all play with words. But you see, our words really, really are important. You see, often we kid ourselves that we're practicing something and we know in our heart of hearts we're only giving it 50%. And all we're actually achieving then is a 50% level of permanent. So if you're going to practice something, practice it perfectly, practice it at 100%. And then you'll end up building and working towards something that is perfect, permanent. So does practice make perfect? Well, it can do. It simply depends upon how perfect the practice is in the first place. There's a huge argument out there to say that if your practice is not perfect, you're doing more damage than good by practicing. And we practice in all sorts of ways. We don't just practice physically, we practice and rehearse mentally. You see, our thoughts that we have are a form of practice as well. Think bad stuff, you'll get bad stuff. Think happy thoughts, you'll have happy thoughts. Think great stuff will be great. Plan and mentally rehearse how we're going to communicate with people, so on and so forth. And so this really does transcend throughout every aspect of our life. So what I'd like to ask you to do going forwards is to come up with something that you do that you'd like to do better at. And I'd like to take it apart and analyse it. What is it you currently do? I'd then like you to go through and say, right, this is what I currently do. This is what I need to start, stop, change or alter in what I'm currently doing. And it may only be one thing, because that will be perfecting it and that will achieve the greater outcome that I desire. And then just hold yourself accountable to next time you are doing that thing to go and do it in a perfect practice style. Keep doing that and eventually you'll notice significant performance increases in whatever it is you set about. And so there we are, whether we're talking about sport, life, fitness, or of course business or our career. If you want to achieve more, practice perfectly to have perfect, permanent outcomes. That's it for my thought for the day for this episode 112 of Tetrakey TV. I look forward to seeing you all in person sometime soon. I'm just about, again, in about 3 weeks' time to set off on another 6 or 7 city, 3 continent, in fact 9 cities, 3 continents over a month. So I hope to get a chance to bump into you in person, and I'd really like to hear what it is that you've stopped, altered, changed or started in your practice regimes to get a higher level of performance outcome. Have a great 24 hours further, and please stay amazing.